Did you know that one common dairy product sitting in your fridge right now might have up to 50 times more beneficial bacteria than the other? Most people think grabbing a cup of Greek yogurt gives them the exact same gut-healing benefits as pouring a glass of kefir. They assume all fermented dairy works exactly the same way inside the human body because they look and taste similar. But choosing the wrong one for your specific biology could mean you are completely wasting your money. You might be missing out on massive health benefits without even realizing it. As a doctor, I see patients make this exact dietary mistake every single day. Today, I am going to explain the precise science behind Greek yogurt versus kefir. I will break down exactly what happens inside your digestive tract when you consume them. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which one you need to fix your specific health issues. Let us start with point number 1. We have to look at the actual living bacteria inside these foods. The microscopic science here is completely fascinating and deeply misunderstood. Greek yogurt is made by taking regular milk, heating it up to kill wild bacteria, and then adding just 2 or 3 specific strains of commercial bacteria. Usually these are Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. These bacteria eat the natural milk sugars. They create lactic acid as a byproduct of this consumption. This lactic acid lowers the pH of the milk, which makes the yogurt thick and gives it that tangy flavor. That is a great biological process, but it is a very small, isolated team of bacteria. You are essentially hiring 2 specialized workers to do a massive job in your gut. Kefir is entirely different from a microbiological standpoint. You do not just add a couple of isolated laboratory strains to the milk. You add something called kefir grains. These are not actual grains like wheat or oats or barley. They are living cauliflower-shaped structures made of complex proteins and lipids. Inside these grains is a massive living ancient ecosystem. A standard glass of traditional kefir has between 30 and 60 different strains of active probiotics. It contains dozens of bacteria and multiple strains of beneficial yeasts, all working together in perfect synergy. That is a massive diverse army going into your digestive system. Now, there is a huge myth out there about probiotics that drives me crazy. People will constantly tell you that probiotic numbers do not matter at all. They say your stomach acid is so incredibly strong that it kills all the bacteria anyway before they reach your intestines. That is simply not true. Science shows that dead bacteria actually create highly beneficial compounds called postbiotics. These dead bacterial fragments still communicate directly with your immune system through your gut wall. They still reduce systemic inflammation all over your body. Plus, kefir bacteria evolved in a highly acidic fermentation environment over thousands of years. They are naturally armored against acid. They easily survive the harsh acid of your human stomach much better than standard yogurt strains. The actionable tip here is simple and highly effective. If your main goal is to fix a damaged gut lining, you need massive bacterial diversity. If you have taken antibiotics recently, you have wiped out your gut flora, and you need diversity to rebuild it. Kefir is your absolute best choice for this specific goal. It brings a massive variety of microscopic workers to rebuild your gut microbiome from the ground up. You want as many different strains as possible to establish a healthy, resilient gut. But bacterial diversity is not the only thing that matters for your overall physical health. This brings us directly to point number 2. We absolutely need to talk about protein content and daily muscle preservation. This is the exact area where Greek yogurt takes a massive, undeniable lead over kefir. To make authentic Greek yogurt, manufacturers take regular fermented yogurt and aggressively strain it through physical filters. They meticulously remove the liquid whey portion of the milk. What is left behind is a highly concentrated, very thick nutrient paste. Because it is physically concentrated, the total protein content skyrockets per ounce. A standard single serving of plain Greek yogurt has about 15 to 20 grams of protein. This is mostly a very slow digesting protein called casein. Kefir, on the other hand, is a drinkable flowing liquid. It is not strained at all during the manufacturing process. A typical glass of plain kefir only has about 8 to 10 grams of protein. The common myth I constantly hear in the online fitness community is totally flawed. Gym goers think they can just drink 2 big glasses of kefir to get the exact same protein as 1 bowl of Greek yogurt. While the basic math works out, the total daily calories absolutely do not. Drinking double the kefir means you are doubling your liquid calories instantly. You are also doubling your fat intake if you drink whole milk kefir. You are doubling your carbohydrate intake too. That is a terrible nutritional strategy if you are actively trying to lose body fat or stay in a strict calorie deficit. The undeniable fact is, you want the most high-quality protein for the fewest calories possible. The actionable tip is this. If you are lifting weights and actively trying to build muscle, you need Greek yogurt in your diet. If you want a healthy, dense snack that will keep you completely full for 6 straight hours, eat Greek yogurt. When you eat it, the thick casein protein literally forms a physical structural gel inside your acidic stomach. This dense gel feeds your recovering muscles a very slow, steady drip of amino acids all afternoon long. It naturally activates the pathways in your body that trigger muscle synthesis. It stops intense hunger cravings dead in their tracks. But consuming high amounts of protein is entirely useless if your body cannot actually digest the food properly in the first place. This biological truth leads perfectly into our third point. We must heavily discuss lactose intolerance and human digestion. This specific issue painfully affects millions of adults worldwide. Lactose is the natural complex sugar found in all mammalian milk. To properly digest this large sugar molecule, your body requires a specific digestive enzyme called lactase. Lactase physically cuts the sugar into 2 smaller usable pieces called glucose and galactose. Most humans naturally stop making this lactase enzyme as they grow out of childhood. When you eat dairy without having this specific enzyme, the undigested lactose travels deep down into your colon. It ferments rapidly and causes severe bloating, painful gas, and explosive diarrhea. Greek yogurt is definitely lower in lactose than a regular glass of milk. The physical straining process I mentioned earlier removes some of the dissolved milk sugars along with the water, but it still contains about 4 to 7 grams of lactose per serving. For many highly sensitive individuals, that small residual amount is still enough to trigger terrible stomach pain and systemic inflammation. Kefir is a completely different story chemically. Because kefir ferments with dozens of different bacteria and yeasts for a much longer time, those microbes aggressively eat almost all of the lactose in the milk. A glass of traditional long fermented kefir might have less than 1 single gram of lactose remaining. Here is the massive medical myth I need to bust right now. People firmly believe that if they are diagnosed as lactose intolerant, they must completely avoid all dairy products forever. They switch entirely to heavily processed oat milks and synthetic almond waters. That is a myth that ruins your dietary variety and strips away natural bioavailable nutrients. The medical fact is the specific living yeasts found in kefir actually produce their own abundant lactase enzymes. When you drink kefir, those active enzymes survive in your digestive tract. They actively help your body digest the kefir itself. They even stick around and help you digest other dairy foods you might eat later in the same day. Actionable tip. If dairy usually destroys your stomach, do not eat a giant bowl of Greek yogurt just yet. Start with just 2 tiny ounces of plain kefir in the morning. Let those powerful microbes slowly build up your natural digestive enzymes. Over time, you might actually find your body can easily digest dairy again without any pain. Speaking of building up your bodily defenses, let us look at how these exact foods actively protect you from getting severely sick. Point number 4 focuses entirely on your immune system and your bodily defenses. You might not know this fascinating biological fact, but it changes everything about nutrition. Up to 70% of your entire human immune system lives right inside your gut. You have a massive network of immune tissue surrounding your intestines. Your intestinal lining is the primary border control for your entire body. Greek yogurt provides a mild but helpful boost to your immune system by supplying some basic good bacteria to this border wall. But kefir takes this immune boosting capability to a totally different medical level. Kefir contains a highly unique biological compound called kefiran. This is a special complex carbohydrate matrix produced only by authentic kefir grains. Medical studies clearly show kefiran directly and aggressively stimulates your white blood cells. It sends powerful chemical signals to your macrophages to wake up immediately. It tells them to start actively hunting for dangerous viruses and bad bacteria circulating in your bloodstream. The common dangerous myth here is that you need to buy expensive synthetic vitamin pills to boost your immunity during cold and flu season. People spend hundreds of dollars every winter on isolated vitamin C powders and sugary elderberry gummies. Fact. Real whole food matrices like traditional kefir deliver incredibly complex immune-modulating compounds that science cannot even replicate in a laboratory yet. Furthermore, the specific friendly yeasts in kefir significantly increase a protective antibody in your gut called secretory IgA. This specific antibody physically coats your gut lining like an invisible microscopic shield. It literally traps bad bacteria before they can enter your blood. Actionable tip. If you are someone who easily catches every single cold that goes around your office, you need kefir. If you constantly suffer from an overactive autoimmune condition, make plain kefir your daily morning medicine. Drink it completely on an empty stomach right when you wake up. This timing allows the kefiran compound to directly coat your bare intestinal wall without competing with other breakfast foods. This invisible protective coating is amazing for your long-term immune health. But what regular kefir consumption does to your daily metabolism is even more shocking to most medical professionals. Point number 5 is all about deep blood sugar control and your long-term metabolic health. This is absolutely critical information if you want to lose stubborn belly fat or completely reverse a prediabetes diagnosis. When you eat carbohydrate-rich food, your blood sugar naturally spikes. Your pancreas rapidly releases insulin to bring that sugar back down safely. If this aggressive spiking process happens too fast or too often, your body immediately stores the excess circulating energy as visceral body fat. Both Greek yogurt and kefir naturally have a very low glycemic index. This is a good thing for keeping insulin stable. But kefir does something almost magical inside your lower digestive tract. Recent breakthrough microbiome research shows that the specific living microbes in kefir chemically alter the bile acids floating in your gut. These modified bile acids then trigger specific chemical receptors in your lower intestines. This powerful activation triggers the immediate release of a natural hormone called GLP-1. This is the exact same powerful weight loss hormone that highly popular synthetic diabetes injection drugs currently target. Kefir stimulates this exact fat-burning pathway entirely naturally. Greek yogurt does not have this exact same complex microbial mechanism. Although the extremely high protein in Greek yogurt does an excellent job of preventing blood sugar spikes entirely on its own. The biggest nutritional myth operating in the grocery store today is that vanilla or strawberry-flavored yogurt is a healthy diet food. The shocking medical fact is flavored Greek yogurt and flavored liquid kefir contain up to 25 grams of added liquid sugar per serving. That massive sugar load completely destroys the natural GLP-1 benefit instantly. It violently spikes your insulin immediately and stops all cellular fat burning for hours. Actionable tip. You must absolutely only ever buy plain unsweetened Greek yogurt or plain unflavored kefir. Never buy the fruit on the bottom varieties. If you absolutely need it to taste sweet, add a small handful of fresh crushed organic blueberries. The natural raw fiber in the berries will actually act as physical prebiotic food for the living probiotics you just consumed. And those specific probiotics need a healthy alkaline environment to perfectly protect your skeletal system as you age. Point number 6 actively explores deep bone density and cellular calcium absorption. Most people look at a thick bowl of Greek yogurt and assume that because it is so incredibly dense and concentrated, it must contain a massive amount of bone-building calcium. That basic assumption is actually scientifically and completely false. Remember that aggressive physical straining process we talked about earlier in the video. When large-scale manufacturers drain away the liquid whey to make Greek yogurt, they also accidentally drain away up to half of the milk's natural dissolved calcium. A standard serving of Greek yogurt actually has significantly less calcium than a normal cheap glass of whole milk. Kefir, on the other hand, is entirely unstrained during its entire production cycle, so it perfectly retains 100% of its natural, highly bioavailable calcium content. But the biological story gets even better than that. Kefir bacteria actively produce a highly specific vital nutrient called vitamin K2 during the long fermentation process. Vitamin K2 chemically acts as the biological traffic cop for calcium in your human body. If you take a basic cheap calcium supplement without having enough vitamin K2, the calcium can easily end up calcifying and permanently clogging your delicate heart arteries. Vitamin K2 chemically forces the floating calcium directly out of your bloodstream and drives it deeply into your solid bones and teeth where it belongs. It activates a bone-building protein called osteocalcin. The dangerous health myth I constantly hear from alternative health gurus online is that dairy creates a toxic, acidic environment in your body. They loudly claim dairy actually leaches precious calcium right out of your human skeleton to balance your blood pH. This ridiculous alkaline diet myth has been completely and utterly debunked by rigorous modern medical science. Fact: your lungs and kidneys tightly control your blood pH, not your diet. Fermented dairy loaded with natural vitamin K2 is absolutely one of the most powerful and effective bone-building foods on planet Earth. Actionable tip: if you are a woman over the age of 40 entering menopause, you desperately need kefir. If you are anyone worried about future osteoporosis or bone fractures, you must choose kefir over Greek yogurt for this specific purpose. Drink your glass of kefir alongside your daily morning vitamin D supplement. Vitamin D and vitamin K2 work perfectly together as an unstoppable team to rapidly rebuild your failing skeletal system. Rebuilding your physical body is great, but what these fermented foods do to your physical human brain is what truly blows my mind as a practicing doctor. Point number 7 involves the incredible gut-brain axis and your daily psychiatric mental health. For many long decades, doctors firmly believed that chronic depression and severe anxiety were just simple chemical imbalances happening strictly inside the human brain alone. We now absolutely know that old medical theory is completely wrong and outdated. Up to 90% of your body's total serotonin supply is manufactured directly in your digestive tract by your local bacteria. Serotonin is your primary mood-stabilizing happy chemical. Greek yogurt gives you a couple of basic bacterial strains that slightly help this local manufacturing process. But the massive 30 to 60 strain microbial diversity found uniquely in kefir changes the brain chemistry game completely. Specific rare strains of bacteria found only in traditional kefir actually directly produce a neurotransmitter called GABA. GABA is the primary calming and relaxing chemical signal in your entire human nervous system. When your physical brain has enough circulating GABA, your severe panic and anxiety drops rapidly. Your racing obsessive nightly thoughts finally stop. You can actually sleep deeply through the entire night without waking up in a cold panic. The dangerous psychiatric myth here is that simple dietary food cannot possibly treat real biological anxiety, and you only need heavy pharmaceutical intervention to survive. While medication is obviously very important and completely necessary for many suffering people, the clinical fact remains. Fixing deep gut dysbiosis can radically alter your daily mood and permanent emotional baseline. Scientific clinical studies on traditional kefir clearly show it actively reduces circulating cortisol, which is your primary destructive stress hormone. Your vagus nerve constantly reads the bacteria in your gut and sends real-time emotional signals up to your brainstem. Actionable tip: if you suffer from daily intense brain fog, chronic life stress, or terrible fragmented sleep quality, you need to run a rigorous 4-week kefir experiment on yourself. Drink exactly 1 cup of plain whole milk kefir every single day for 30 consecutive days without failing. The diverse, powerful microbes will slowly and permanently colonize your damaged gut lining. They will begin continuously pumping out fresh serotonin and calming GABA directly into your systemic bloodstream. You will likely feel a profound, deep mental clarity and emotional calmness you have not truly felt in many long years. So let us firmly bring all of this complex medical science together into a simple, actionable conclusion. Both of these fermented dairy foods are absolutely incredible for your physical human body, but they perform very distinctly different medical jobs. Greek yogurt is your ultimate muscle-building protein powerhouse. It effectively keeps you feeling completely full and actively helps you lose stubborn body fat through simple daily appetite satiety. Kefir is your ultimate gut-healing, immune-boosting, anxiety-reducing super liquid. It aggressively brings microscopic diversity to your digestive system that standard commercial yogurt simply cannot match. Here is the single clear step-by-step action plan I want you to start tomorrow morning to change your health. If your daily digestion is currently a mess and you feel constantly fatigued, go to the local grocery store today. Buy a high-quality glass bottle of plain, unsweetened whole milk kefir. Tomorrow morning, pour exactly 4 liquid ounces into a small glass. Drink it entirely before you eat or drink anything else for breakfast. Do this exact religious routine every single morning for 2 full weeks. If you are already very healthy but intensely want to build lean, athletic muscle mass, buy plain Greek yogurt instead. Eat it as your daily afternoon protein snack to easily hit your high nutritional targets. You can even combine both of these brilliant strategies for maximum biological results. I personally drink a small glass of plain kefir in the early morning to fiercely protect my brain and my gut lining. Then I eat a large bowl of plain Greek yogurt late at night for optimal muscle recovery while I deeply sleep. This combination provides the absolute best of both nutritional worlds. Now I want to hear directly from you right now. Go straight down to the comment section and type the exact word fermented if you are going to actively start drinking kefir this week to fix your gut. Or type the exact word protein if you are going to strictly stick with Greek yogurt for the massive muscle building benefits. I physically read every single comment on this educational channel. I love seeing what you guys proudly choose to do to aggressively improve your daily health. If this video truly helped you understand your complex biological body much better, hit that subscribe button right now. Next week, I am officially releasing a massive, highly requested scientific video on apple cider vinegar. I personally read over 40 peer-reviewed medical research papers for this upcoming video project. I shockingly found out that most people are drinking it completely wrong and actually permanently damaging their tooth enamel and sensitive esophagi. You absolutely do not want to miss that shocking medical information. Thank you so much for completely trusting me with your valuable time and your personal health today. Keep actively healing your gut with real traditional whole food. Keep fiercely challenging these popular mainstream nutrit